I'm going to Hong Kong by myself for Creamfields Music Festival. Alright, so yeah, your girl is taking a solo trip to Hong Kong for Creamfields Music Festival. The festival takes place April 1st and 2nd. This is going to be my very first time in Hong Kong and my very first time for Creamfields, and I am so freaking excited. All right, so before we get into the details of Creamfields more, let's just give a little background on myself if you're new to my channel or don't know like my travel or festival history. So I have my little list here to keep me straight. So I've traveled abroad before by myself. I've traveled throughout the United States by myself, and I've gone to music festivals by myself. So to date, this is going to be my 4th solo trip abroad. So I've been to Australia alone, Japan, Colombia, and now I'm going to Hong Kong. So I think that's really cool. And then this is going to be my 7th solo festival. So this includes both stateside festivals and international festivals, and then this is going to be my 2nd international festival. Last October I did Ultra Colombia by myself, so now I'm shipping out again and we're going to do Creamfields by myself in Hong Kong. All right, so Creamfields, Hong Kong. Here is the lineup. This is so freaking amazing, and you can see why I'm not gonna miss out on this. So even though I have to go alone. So I get asked a lot of like why I do things alone, and the same answer I give everybody is that it's never my first choice to do things alone. I always ask maybe like 1 to 3 people. So like in this case, I did ask 3 different people if they wanted to come with me, and it's just too short of notice, or it's too expensive, or you know, they just really don't have the desire to go. So I'm not gonna miss out. You already know that, and that's why I've traveled, you know, so much by myself before, is because people just couldn't make it, and I'm not gonna miss out on an opportunity just because somebody else can't go. I'll never do that, and because of that, I've had some pretty amazing experiences by myself. I'm so proud of the woman I am today and all the cool things that I've done and all the challenges that I've faced traveling and going to festivals alone, and so yeah, it made me who I am today. I love Asia. It is one of my favorite continents to travel. So I've been to 6 of the 7 continents. I will go to Antarctica one day. I doubt I'll go there for a festival unless somebody wants to, what's up Pasquale, throw a little Arctic festival. Anyways, so Asia, yes, is one of my favorite continents to travel. I haven't been to Asia since 2019, and I went to EDC Japan for that. So that was my very first international festival. I spent 3 weeks traveling through Asia with my friend, and then at the end of it I did spend a week by myself in Japan. And at the time we had talked about going to Hong Kong, but that didn't happen. She ended up going to Europe. I stayed in Japan by myself. So Hong Kong has been a bucket list place of mine, and so at this point in my life I am trying to do like kind of 2 things at once. I want to keep traveling the world, and I love going to music festivals. So at this point in time, I am finding music festivals in these foreign countries that I want to travel to. So Creamfields, Hong Kong came up, and I was like, yes, sign me the F up. And then once I saw the lineup, confirmed it. So in this trip, I've done this many times before, but this is gonna be my very first time that I'm gonna make the absolute effort to bring the most like valuable, entertaining, informational, and inspiring content that I can bring to my traveling and festivaling and whoever else is watching community. So I know that traveling alone can be really scary, especially as a female. So I really want to inspire the other girlies out there that are dying to travel, but you know, don't have somebody to go with. Like, I'm going to show you how to do it. You know, I'm going to show you the ways how I go about traveling by myself, whether it's, you know, just in a foreign country and at the festival, how I navigate, how I do everything by myself, what I do to keep myself safe. So, you know, that's the goal, is to just provide as much information and make it entertaining as I can along the entire trip. And so I want to document everything from my experience flying, because both flying there and back is going to be a 26-hour process. Maybe there's somebody out there that's never taken an international flight like that before by yourself or with other people. So I want to show you what it's like to travel internationally, like on a long ass flight like that, because I've done this a few times, and so I'm no stranger to flying internationally on these long ass flights, and you know how to navigate airports. I don't speak the language. I think they speak Cantonese in Hong Kong. I don't speak that, so I'm going to show you what it's like to be an English speaker in these countries where you don't know the language. Because again, I've had to navigate myself through these foreign countries where I don't speak the language, and I make it out fine every time. And I want to show you guys like everything that I'm eating, all the foods that I'm trying inside and outside of the festival, you know, what it's like to be eating by myself at these places or checking out these rooftop bars or attractions, things like that. What I'm wearing to the festival, because I do sometimes when I'm by myself, I take a more conservative route to the festivals that I'm going to. I want to be just a little bit more conservative, for one, safety, and two, not to draw too much attention, but also still be the little American rave baddie that I am. And the nightlife in Hong Kong, and you know, as much as we want everything to go perfectly, that's not always the case. So, you know, as complications arise, hopefully not too many or hopefully none at all, but as they do, I'm going to be completely transparent about it, you know, because as fun as it is to solo travel or travel at all, there does come complications along with this. So I want to be honest and transparent and let you guys know of any of the struggles that I face along the way, because during my Egypt trip, that's the last trip that I took, so go ahead there, I'm gonna link that up here. I was with the group and there were a lot of complications along the way, but I wasn't transparent for a few reasons. For one, I didn't have my Wi-Fi on, or my data, so I wasn't able to post in real time. So when I did have access to be posting real time, I just wanted to get like the highlight reel out, all the highlights and all the good things that I was doing in Egypt, and I didn't want to get into the nitty-gritty of the horrendous side of it, of what was really happening, because for one, I don't want to waste my time posting all this good stuff, but two, I didn't want to make the situation worse, and then three, I was absolutely drained. So if you kind of go back and look through that stuff, I kind of talk about it a little bit, and in the final recap, I fully go into a deep dive of why that trip honestly was pretty bad, aside of the good stuff I posted on TikTok and Instagram. So this time I'm going to be completely transparent, whether things are going horribly wrong or just, you know, annoyances or inconveniences that come up with traveling, especially solo travel. So I'm going to be sharing all of it, and I am going to have my data on the whole time. If I have to use a VPN, I will, because I've been in Beijing before where they didn't have access to Instagram. TikTok wasn't a thing when I was there, so I had to use a VPN. Either way, I'm gonna make sure that I can be posting in real time for everybody to see, to follow along, and then also be documenting for more in-depth YouTube style videos. So also with that, as much as I'm going to document everything about this entire journey for YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, I want feedback from you guys. What do you want to see while I'm on this trip? I don't care what it is, let me know, give me the suggestions, because like I said, I want to make sure that I'm bringing the most like informational but inspirational and valuable but also entertaining content to my community. So let me know down in the comments of what exactly you want to see, so I make sure that I capture everything, not only for myself but like for my community as well. So like I said, I'm going to be documenting everything from the flight to the hotel, navigating airports, navigating the city, what I'm eating inside and outside of the festival, everything, but also like ask me specific questions of what you guys want to see. And this is like my little like content journal. Like I will write down everything to make sure that I'm capturing everything for my community, because like I said, I want, if you know, you want to take this trip someday, whether it's to Hong Kong or an international trip or festival, whatever, I want to make sure that you have everything that you need to be able to take that trip and not be scared and just be inspired and be excited like I am. So please let me know what you want to see, so I make sure that I capture it all. So I'm going to talk to you about the things that I've done to prepare for this trip. So first off, and this is something that you could kind of take with you to any national trip. Okay, first off, COVID is still very much a thing in the world, and so some countries have COVID precautions. When I went to Colombia, I had to fill out a whole questionnaire about that, and then I couldn't even check into my flight. I had to do it at the airport because they wanted to make sure that I filled out this whole health document. So step one, when you're traveling abroad, is check their COVID requirements, their entry requirements, because some places still have it. Hong Kong recently still just had a quarantine, I think, till the end of 2022, and I think around January, February, they dropped it. So I don't need to quarantine, but I do need to be COVID testing, like 24 hours to 48 hours, depending on what type of test, the day of my flight. So check the COVID requirements, because it's still very much a thing, and some countries have COVID requirements. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna buy like home test things and then carry that with me, because I think I've read like either when I leave Hong Kong or somewhere I have to be like constantly testing or something like that. I don't know. Either way, I'm just gonna take some COVID tests with me to be testing like before, during, and after my trip, just because that is still very much a thing there. And then people are still wearing masks over there, I'm pretty sure. So I have to take a mask, you know, I'm gonna be respectful, I'm gonna follow the guidelines, and that's what I'm gonna do. Check the travel and entry requirements in general. That's step two. So of any country that you go to, check to see if you need a visa or vaccinations in general. Again, this has nothing to do with COVID. This is just a smart thing to do. Sometimes you need vaccinations to go to certain places. So check those things. I do not need a visa to go to Hong Kong because I'm just visiting and I'm there for less than 90 days. So I don't need a visa for that. But a lot of countries do need a visa. Most of them that I've been to, Australia, Egypt, I just needed one for that. China, like you need a visa. So check the visa requirements for entry. And then other things that I'm just doing on my own. I've never been to Hong Kong, so I don't know. So what I'm gonna do, and this is the same thing that I do for other things, step three, is to check like social norms. Just a quick thing. There's like little, if I could find one, I'll put one up here on Pinterest, but I've seen this for other things, like just a quick little guideline or summary of like the very brief do's and don'ts of a country. So like when I was going to Japan, I learned that it's improper to eat and walk, you know, so little things like that. So I'm gonna do the same thing for Hong Kong and learn a few words, like how to say hello, thank you, goodbye, maybe where's the bathroom. I do this almost for every country that I go to, just to be respectful and also make sure that I'm not doing something absolutely horrendous that just, it wouldn't be good over there. So check little things like that. And what I also do is TikTok, I get on TikTok and just type in Hong Kong. And so that's how I find of like recommended spots to go. So I'm making a list in my phone of all like these beautiful rooftop bars or restaurants or things like that. And then I'm watching these vlogs also of people just like going about in Hong Kong, either girlies solo traveling by themselves or people that live there, or you know, expats, whatever. So I'm just kind of getting an idea, and also to recommendations for stuff. So I know that Hong Kong is extremely safe to visit, so I really don't have any kind of like worry about going, but still I know that I am a beautiful young lady, so I need to take a lot of precautions in general. Forget the beauty aside, anybody needs to take these precautions, especially if you're just a single female traveler. So in general, what I do, and I'll get more in depth into this as I'm taking the trip, but just like a summary of things that I do is like, for one, my mom always has my location. I don't have a boyfriend or anything, so my mom is just like my emergency contact for anything. So my mom always has my location. And before I even leave the trip, I send her all of my details, where I'm staying, my flight. Sometimes, this is what I've done before, you could share your location in the Uber. I am gonna be 14 hours ahead of her, so I probably won't be doing that. But either way, there's a few precautions that I take, sharing the location, accommodation details, things like that, just to make me feel a little bit more safe. And then because aside from me just posting a lot in general, just because I want to, but also that's just another way to let everybody know back home that I'm also okay. So here's like a rule of thumb: if I go like 24 hours without posting, something's wrong. So like hit me up. I won't be doing that in Hong Kong just because I'll have access, but like in Egypt, since I'd go like 12 hours at a time without posting. But let's just say if like my stories expire and you know that I'm not flying home, something's wrong, okay? Let's put that out there because I'm gonna be posting everything. Yeah, so that is pretty much it for me just saying that I'm going to Hong Kong by myself, and I'm so excited. Like I said, once I actually get into the trip, I'm going to be documenting and filming everything and kind of explaining step by step my entire process of how I travel alone and what it's like and all that. So please subscribe to the channel for this amazing adventure that I'm about to take. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and don't forget, like, let me know in the comments of what you want to see. I want to make sure that I'm providing as much entertaining, informational content as I can. I want you guys to feel like you're along on this journey with me and inspire you to maybe take a trip by yourself as well, or whatever it may be. So please let me know what you guys want to see. I'm so excited for this. Yeah, so subscribe for more festivals, food, and flying. This is going to be the ultimate of those three. Like, this trip is going to combine all of the things that I love so much. And my next video is going to be covering Ultra, coming up here in a few weeks. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you want to see in my Hong Kong trip, and I'll see you for my Ultra videos. Bye.